now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Evening City Council, Mayor Burcroft, Attorney Hitchcock, City Treasurer Stacy Page, Deputy Clerk and audience. This is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Monday, November 4th, 2019. Mr. Chair, roll call was taken during our earlier study session, and we have a quorum for this meeting.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk.
And also, we're asking council to submitting an amended agenda. We're striking or removing agenda item 5B under the mayor's report.
Okay.
Therefore, the amended agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. Number 5, mayor's report. 6 is clerk's report. 7, treasurer's report. 8, public comment. 9, unfinished business. 10, new business. 11, communication. And number 12 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the amended regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to
Support.
accept the amended council agenda as presented.
There was a motion by Ms. Talley, was that second by Ms. Webb?
Yes.
To approve the amended agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
2A, approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held on October the 28th, 2019.
Move for October 28th, 2019.
Been motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting, which was held October 28th, 2019. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Agenda item 2B for approval are the minutes from the special meetings held on October 28th, 2019. At 6:15 p.m., there was a study session regarding risk management presentation, and at 7 o'clock, it was a closed session, attorney opinion.
So moved for approval of minutes from the special meetings held.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the special meetings held on October 28th, 2019. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
There are no petitioners on the agenda this evening. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight at 6:30, we had a study session considering the draft ordinance for our illicit discharges. And at this time, our chair is going to recognize our Councilman Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barton. I'd like a memorial resolution for Dothro Marie Simcoe, and I'll expand on it if I can. Thank you. Mrs. Simcoe passed away on the 28th of October, and she was 93 years old. She leaves behind. She was the wife of the late George Simcoe Sr. She left behind 2 sons, George Jr., who we know that worked in our city, Bonnie, and his brother Gerald, and his wife Charlene. She left behind grandkids, and she spent a lot of her time making, I guess she sewed dresses to send overseas to orphans. And she was 93 and was a life well spent. But I'd like to make a couple personal comments. I went to the funeral home, and I was impressed when I got there by our fire department. There was Fire Chief Dave Allison, there was Lieutenant John Thies, Matt Wilhide, and Michael Waitoko. They stood at the front door in their dress blues, wearing white gloves, and this fire department should be proud of what they did. And I understand that Dave and Julie Allison also provided the food and the drinks that were at the funeral home. And our fire department we should be proud of them for what they did. And this was on their own time also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. It was motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for memorial resolution. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved,
Couple more.
and that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to approve the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, our treasurer, clerk, deputy clerk, and audience. Tonight, the quote I brought goes as this: "Some people dream of success, while others get up every morning and make it happen." And I picked that quote because I want to talk a little bit, Mr. Chairman, about the 5-star E-Cities Award that we won second time ever. It's an award that the University of Michigan puts out, and it's basically looking at municipalities and their processes. So everything from planning to economic to assessing to building to the whole process working together. We were the only, again, downriver community that was successful in that. And these are communities all over the state. And a lot of hard work goes into that with our whole team, people in many of those different departments. So we'll be doing, you'll hear more about it. You've heard about it probably in our press release, but that's good news. What that means is that Romulus is a place to be where people want to deal with our community, to develop, to spend their money and their resources. So wanted to give a shout out to that. No video tonight, but I do want to bring up Jasmine Dancy to give a verbal report before I get on to my action items. Jazz?
Good evening, everybody. Just a couple of announcements. Wanted to have a reminder that city offices are closed next week, Monday, November 11th, in honor of Veterans Day. But we would love if you guys would join us. We are doing a partnership this year for a ceremony with VFW Post 9568, and that will begin at 10 a.m. So we have done it at a couple different locations in the past, but we'll be doing everything out at the VFW Post, so please join us there. Also, the library has quite a few events this week. Just a couple I wanted to highlight is this Wednesday. They're doing a World War II in their own words program, so you'll get to hear recordings of veterans speaking about their time in the service. Also, Thursday at the library, they're having a family movie night. So make sure to check out their website or Facebook for more information on all of their awesome programming that they do. So getting into kind of some new business, wanted to thank everyone that participated in the Downtown Scarecrow Contest last month. We had an awesome turnout again this year, and wanted to release the official results of the voting, which took place not only online on our Facebook page, but also in person here at City Hall all month, and especially at our Fall Fest, where kids would go around on the hay rides and then immediately come back and vote for their favorites. So we just thank everyone. It was a great turnout in the downtown area and definitely adds to the holiday spirit. So to get started, we have our third place winner with 196 votes was Barth Elementary with Alvin and the Chipmunks. And with us tonight we have Principal David Thompson. Okay, and then we actually had a tie for second place. So each of these groups got 200 votes. The first is 5 Points Church, and their scarecrow was Forky right in front of their church, and Pastor Jim Bowen is here with us. And the next second place winner is going to go to Romulus Head Start with the artist who created this piece is Tracy McNutt. She works at the Head Start facility, and this scarecrow was the kind of the nature-looking woman that was made of all the corn stalks and the flowers. So congratulations to them. And finally, the first place winner wasn't able to be with us tonight, but it is Romulus Family Dental, and we want to give them a round of applause because they have been putting out awesome scarecrows and have been placing almost every year since we've had this contest. So we just thank everybody for their participation, and hope to see even more scarecrows next year. So thank you.
Jazz, and thanks to all those that participated. I don't know if you got a chance to go to the Fall Fest, but I know when I was there, we had Boys and Girls Club kids there. They were fresh off the hayride, and boy, were they excited about the scarecrows. And you heard all their favorites that they got to see throughout the route. So, we're doing this. It's different than a pumpkin fest. It's different than a farmer's market. It's specifically for kids. It was a great time. If you missed it, we started the first annual cheese ball drop with the ladder truck and some pretty creative things. So again, thank you, fire department. Thank you, DPW, PD, everybody who pitched in, the whole community. Next up, Mr. Chairman, I do have some action items to get into if I could. First up is item A, and what you have before you is a recommendation from Kathy Hood, Assistant DPW Director, and Gary Harris, our Purchasing Director. This request is to concur the administration and award bid ITB 19/20-03 to the most responsive and responsible bidder, Ferguson Water Works. That's for 2-year fixed pricing for water system parts for our water division of the city of Romulus, DPW. Those funds have been verified and budgeted for, and they come out of the water sewer fund account that's listed.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for ITB 19/20-03 for the water system small parts contract.
Support.
A motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for ITB 19/20-03 water system small parts. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you, Council. As you know, earlier we struck item B, so C is the next item for action. This is a recommendation from Police Captain Josh Monty and our legal counsel, and it's to concur the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached agreement with Statewide Security Transport, Inc., and that's for the transportation of the Romulus Police Department misdemeanor prisoners. Terms of the agreement to expire September 30th, 2021. Funds have been verified and budgeted and come out of the Board of Prisoners account that's listed.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion that we enter into an agreement with Statewide Security Transport for the transportation of Romulus Police Department misdemeanor prisoners.
Support.
A motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for statewide security transport agreement. Discussion?
Mr. Barton?
Yes, Mr.
if I
Wadsworth.
could to Captain Monty, if he's... What's the furthest is they take these prisoners from our area?
It depends. Clinton County, I believe, is probably the furthest that I know of.
And is their responsibility to bring them back
It
for
is.
court? And
Correct, it is.
okay, fine. That was my question.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, I was reading the document, and it was saying something to the point where that if they wasn't available, they would give him a bus ticket
Yes.
to go home or to come back to.
To come back, to go back to wherever they want to go back, actually.
So that means the court and the police department would be done with them?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
John?
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
Expanding on that, so you're saying if they're taken somewhere and somebody bonds them out?
Correct.
Okay, then,
Correct.
okay, fine.
Through the chair for me.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
Captain, in regards to the $250 allotment for medical, but then again, I see that it could go up to $5,000. But I guess my question is, if they needed more medical attention without the EMS there. Who do they get the approval from? It just said that they would need an approval in order to administer medical.
Typically, it's handled on a case-by-case basis, so typically I'll be notified from statewide directly as to what the issue may be, and they may need more serious medical attention, so I'll get authorization from the judges at 34th District Court to release that person from our custody. And at that point, they may be transported to a hospital, depending on the seriousness of it. If it's minor, they do have their own facilities there to care for anybody that may be sick.
Yeah, because I was sort of concerned. We see it all the time on the news. Things happen in jails or whatever, and that's sort of time sensitive. That's why I wanted to know who would they contact to get their approval, and how quick. But you said you'd have to contact a judge and.
Correct. That would be if I release them. They have their own. Each county has their own medical protocols. So if they need emergency treatment, they're treated immediately as soon as there are any signs or symptoms. But if it's something that's of a serious nature that may require further treatment, at that point, they'll get that medical attention, but we will get them released from our custody.
Because I do know that the responsibility falls on the city, so we would have to.
Right. First and foremost, our concern is making sure that person gets medical attention.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. The next item is a recommendation from our city clerk, Ellen Craig Bragg, and Steve Dudek, Technology Service Director. The request is to concur the administration extend the city's current service agreement with Civic Plus, Inc. for the useful life of the software or until the agreement can no longer be budgeted for, and those funds have been confirmed and available out of the Technology Service Department maintenance account that's listed.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make a motion to concur with the administration and extend the city's contract with services agreement with Civic Plus, Inc.
The motion by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Talley, for the extension of the Civic Plus Incorporated Services Agreement. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. Next, we have some reappointments. What you have before you are for the TIFA Board. The request is to concur with the administration and approve the reappointments of Matt Raftery, Mike Hoffman, Emery Long, Don Morris, Dean Trudeau, Larry Williams, Randy Moffett, and Jeff Mansfield to the Tax Increment Finance Authority. Those terms are to expire on November 30th, 2023.
Chair, I'll make that motion
Support.
to concur with administration and approve the reappointments of the gentlemen that were just named by the mayor.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Williams, for reappointments to the authority. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. And the last action item is another appointment. This is a recommendation to concur with administration and approve the appointment of Jennifer Johnson to the Municipal Library Board as a Huron Township representative. Term will expire on April 11th, 2022.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we approve the appointment of Jennifer Johnson to the Municipal Library Board from Huron
Support.
Township.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for Municipal Library Board appointment. Any discussion?
Yes, I would just like to say welcome, Jennifer, and you do have an outstanding resume.
Thank you. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, Council. That concludes my report.
Thank you.
Number 6 is the clerk's report. 6A for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 19/20-08, General Fund in the amount of $45,000 to purchase an emergency command vehicle. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of October 28, 2019.
So move for second reading.
Support.
A motion by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 19/20-04. Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
I have discussion.
Okay, discussion, go ahead.
To the clerk, the new document that was given to us under C, where it's striked out forthwith request Detroit Edison to install, is that somewhere else in the document?
Councilwoman Williams, we're on A, 6A.
Ooh.
It's okay. I'll be glad to answer it when we get to that
Okay.
next agenda
Yes.
item, though. Okay.
Move a little fast.
Okay, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth, Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6B for second reading and final adoption are amendments to Chapter 50, Special Assessments, Section 50-1 and Section 50-13 of the Code of Ordinances for the City of Romulus, which was introduced at the October 14th, 2019 regular council meeting.
Need a motion,
So moved.
okay?
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe, second reading, final adoption of amendments to Chapter 50 Special Assessments, Section 50-1 and Section 50-13 of the Code of Ordinance for the City of Romulus. Discussion?
Yes. Okay.
Councilman Williams, what we had in your packet, you actually had the actual amendment, showing the strikeouts and everything and what was actually amended. And it was requested by another Councilwoman Webb to actually have a clean copy that showed, what the final document would look like. I also included an explanation, an email from our city council, legal counsel, Mr. Hitchcock, with regards to those changes. He also included the actual code of ordinance so that you can see both. So you have the actual original ordinance, you have the proposed showing exactly what was changed, and then upon the request of Councilwoman Williams, she just asked for a complete, clean copy. So that's what I handed to you this evening.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Before I close out my report, I have a couple of announcements. First, next week, it was already announced that we have a lot of activities in honor of our veterans next Monday. So that means our council meeting will be next Tuesday, November the 12th. Same time, same place, at 7:30 here. So that's Tuesday, November the 12th will be our regular scheduled council meeting. And also, tomorrow, there is an election here in Romulus, but it only affects those residents who live in the Woodhaven Brownstown School District. That's Precinct 4, which is located at Hell Creek. So there is not a citywide election. We've received calls all day. And it's because, too, throughout the state, there are some local and there's some elections that's going on. So this is an election day. So the Woodhaven School District they have a sinking fund millage renewal proposal. It's just one thing on the ballot. So we want to announce to everyone, again, an election tomorrow, one precinct, Precinct 4, which is located at Hell Creek Elementary School. Also, with proposal, we have proposal 3 for those residents only who are affected or that in that school district. If you did not register under the new proposal 3, you still have tomorrow until 8 o'clock to register, same day registration. You will vote an absentee ballot, but you'll have to come to the clerk's office to register. So you can't go to the Secretary of State or any other jurisdiction. You'll have to come here to the city clerk's office to register, and you'll have to show proof of residency. So any questions, just give us a call and we can answer those questions. With that concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Number 7 would be the treasurer's report.
Good evening. I do not have anything under my report tonight. Thank you.
Takes us to number 8, public comment. And this is the portion of the agenda for those of you that are in the audience and that would like to address City Council. You can find the rules on the back of the agenda. If you would like to address City Council and you have not submitted a written request, we ask that you raise your hand. And after you've been acknowledged by our chairperson, approach the podium. We ask that you please state your name and address. And please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Any additional time will be upon consent of our chairperson. Mr. Chair, we do not have any written requests this evening.
Any comments from the audience? Ms. Lemon?
Good evening, Jan Lemon. I just want to give a big shout out to Julie Ellison. Mrs. Williams, you were there. How many people do you think was there? How many ladies?
I would say a couple hundred.
240.
40? No. I would estimate close to 200 or more.
240.
Every year, Julie Ellison does this for the children. This is for the Good Fellows. It was her 12th year. The food was delicious.
Yes.
The service was excellent. Julie Ellis can put on a party like nobody. That's all there is to it. She's very gracious. She tries to see that everything is just professional. She announced that last year they raised $22,000 for No Child Without a Christmas. I expect this year that to be more than that. I personally am sorry that somebody running for public office felt it was a time to put their literature just on a basket. This was for children. This was not to promote your own agenda. I feel sorry for that person. They had to do that, but it is no reflection on Julie Ellison. What she does every year is, and every year it seems to get bigger,
Yes.
and every year it's more wonderful. So let's give Julie Ellison a hand. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? No more comments from the audience? Yes.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
David Thompson here from Barth Elementary. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all the members here at the City Council for the support you showed us recently at Spooktacular. A lot of the donations and volunteers and stuff that came from the city are very much appreciated. On behalf of myself and my staff, my families, and all the kids of Barth, on behalf of all of us, we just wanted to extend a thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? No more comments from the audience? We'll close that part out.
Number 9 is unfinished business. Number 10 is new business. Number 11 is communication.
Yes. Ms. Talley?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to concur with Ms. Lemon. It was a great event yesterday. Julie Ellison, as you always said, I've only been going for the last several years, but it was just a great event, and I just want to shout out to the committee, whoever's on the committee. But for me, it was a lot of fellowshipping. It was I was laughing at my table. They just had me cracking up so hilariously. And just a time of bonding, seeing people I haven't seen around in a while at this place. You could see people you may not see quite often. So it was a really good event. And I just have to put this out there, Mayor. You better watch it. Your wife can pray. So she prayed yesterday, First Lady, and just wanted to say she might give you a run for your money. So I'm just saying. So she did a good job. But to the committee, Julie Allison, just a very good event, fellowship and laughing, and just bonding. So I just want to shout out to everybody who was involved with that. And then I also want to shout out to Pastor Jesse Charles, his wife. He turned 70. He had an event yesterday for him, 70 years. And then him and his wife, 10 years of marriage. Very nice event that they had yesterday afternoon. So I want to shout out to him and his church, and just the love that was shown for him and what they did at their ceremony yesterday and their event. So just a shout out to Pastor Charles, Jesse Charles, and his wife, Latrell Charles, First Lady. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Williams?
Yes, and I would just like to also add to Julie's tea. The food was very delicious. I asked Julie the next time, make sure they have more than one pecan pie, because we were almost scrubbling over that pie. I mean, it was delicious, and so thanks again to Julie Allison.
Mr. Chairman, just to tag on the whole Goodfellows theme, that's a great event, and Julie and the committee do a great job. We have a lot of people in the city that have very big hearts that work on screening Goodfellow applicants, that look at raising the right things for the right families to make it special. That's what I love about Romulus. You know, a lot of people behind the scenes that give a lot of time in a lot of different ways. Some are public, some are private, but they give because they have a big heart, and we can't forget that. And I think the best point that Jan said is it's about families and kids. And so that's why this time of year is so significant that we do that. Mr. Thompson, that's why we support the schools. That's why we need to have the schools and the city working together, because we're one community. And we're making impact on kids. We talked about with the scarecrows. Those are kids. Those are our future residents down the road. So a lot of good things are going on, and thank you. If you're a part of it in a small way or a big way, we just thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mayor.
There more communication? If not, number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Yes. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.